Back again with more of the most disrespectful lines from diss tracks, this time with a twist. This is for all the female MCs out there. Rap beef ain't just a man's sport, still doing one song per artist. Number 10, Name Callin' Part 2. In this sequel to her first diss, Name Callin', Queen Latifah snaps on Foxy Brown, putting aside her peaceful queen-like demeanor to remind everyone that she can get grimy too when it comes down to it. Latifah raps over numerous beats here, consistently attacking Foxy for basically using sex to sell records. Latifah quite blatantly tells Foxy that the platinum plaque she received for her album doesn't mean anything, as she's gonna send Foxy back to stripping with the lines, "Lap dancing for 5 cents, doing VIPs to make rent. Look up and I'm platinum wondering where the F time went." Number 9, What's Beef? Rapping over the beat from Biggie's song What's Beef, Trina does her own rendition of the song and aims this one at fellow female MC and Queen of the South contendant Kaya, as well as dissing BG from the Hot Boys. Trina sends numerous shots here at Kaya quite directly, but perhaps the most disrespectful line here is her saying that Kaya is essentially copying her by doing a song with Trick Daddy, who introduced Trina to the industry by putting her on his first 2 albums, and that Kaya is doing her leftovers. Basically, another copying claim as is often seen in rap beef. Number 8, Bang Bang. On this track from CNN's second album, The Reunion, Foxy Brown uses her verse to throw shots at Lil' Kim and Diddy. This is one of the more well-known diss tracks from Foxy during her longtime feud with Kim, which I've covered previously on the channel, so check that video out for more on that. Foxy calls them both out directly for the subliminal shots and tells Kim to cut the tough talk and go back to rapping about sex, as that's what she's known for. Kinda ironic considering that's what Queen Latifah said to Foxy on her diss track that I mentioned previously on this list. Number 7, Cause I Don't Need No Frauds. As part of the chain of diss tracks back and forth between Nicki Minaj and Remy Ma, Minaj released this track, No Frauds, in response to Remy Ma's Sheather. It features Drake and Lil Wayne, with Drake seeming to send subliminal shots at Meek Mill as they were beefing at the time. But the line that puts this song on this list, of course, isn't from Drake, it's the shots firing at Remy, specifically referencing the shooting of her friend that got her locked up. The line, "What type of mother leaves her one son over a rack?" is quite a tough question to ask, essentially questioning Remy's own priorities as she was still in the streets despite having a young son to take care of. Since Remy was locked up for over 6 years, when she went in her son was a child, and when she came out he was a teenager, and she stated that as one of the hardest parts of going to prison for her. Number 6, Succubi. And perhaps one of the stranger beefs here, Azalea Banks disses fellow Harlem rapper Jim Jones over an altercation regarding the whole vamp life term. Perhaps fitting for her to call the track Succubi, as like vampires, they are also creatures of myth, and they seduce men in their dreams. She seduced me at least with this track, as she really went in on Jim here. She ends her verse reminding Jim of some of the negatives of his career, like his beef with fellow rapper True Life, Max B writing his rhymes, and even his friend and group mate Cameron dissing him when they fell out, and even disses his masculinity by saying that it takes a Harlem chick to execute a Harlem chick. Number 5, On the Edge. Angel Haze comes at Azalea Banks, as it often happens in newer rap beefs, over some subliminal tweets. The cover art for the song even includes text messages between the two, and throughout it, she makes multiple references to personal conversations between them. In the third verse, however, is when she mentions the conversation from the cover art. In particular, a situation where apparently Azalea was upset over a recent breakup and wanted someone to talk to, so Angel Haze took pity on her and gave her a conversation, basically airing out her dirty laundry to make her look worse. Number 4, Sheather. In this extremely vicious, thorough breakdown of Nicki Minaj, Remy Ma responds to subliminal shots from previous songs and decides to go all out here. She picks the perfect beat and title to use, as this is of course a reference to the classic diss track Ether, which was a Nas song aimed at Jay-Z and Rockefeller Records. She set rap fan expectations quite high with that and delivered quite well. Perhaps the most devastating line, however, is pretty much everything, honestly, but for the sake of the list, I'm gonna have to go with a line that we're all probably thinking. She directly calls out Nicki for supporting her brother despite the recent sexual assault allegations he had against him, which he did wind up eventually going to prison over. Now before we get to the last three, take a second out to click those like and subscribe buttons, and remember to become a channel member to unlock certain perks and help support the channel further. Number 3. TKO. Jacki-O delivered not only a technical knockout to Foxy Brown, but also a regular knockout as well, as in this diss track she references the physical altercation they got into while in the studio together recording a song for Gravy. Yes, the guy who played Biggie in Biggie and Tupac's biopics is actually a rapper from Brooklyn himself. Allegedly, Jacki-O was tired of Foxy Brown's attitude in the studio, and they fought right there. According to her, she won the fight, and displayed it quite clearly with lines like, "In your interviews, go and tell them how linoleum tasted." Ouch. Number 2. The gag is, after Cupcake released her own version of How to Rob, the classic 50 Cent track, Sukihana, who was among the list of rappers mentioned by her, responded shortly afterwards with the track Rob Who, dissing Cupcake. Cupcake came back again with this track going in completely on Sukihana, even mentioning her embarrassing sex tape situation, but with lines talking about shooting Sukihana's kids as well as pissing on them. This once again takes the cake, no pun intended. As I've said in the previous videos, you mention kids, you most likely get on this list. Number 1. Hit Her Up. In response to the previously mentioned diss track by Trina, Kaya responded to her with Hit Her Up, her own version of the classic Tupac diss track Hit 'Em Up, using the same beat and her own rendition of the chorus too. On the second verse, she dissed Jacki-O. I guess all three of them wanted that Queen of the South title. She disses both women pretty hard, but Trina receives one of the most hurtful lines by saying that when Trina was pregnant with Wayne's baby, that it wasn't really his, and calls her body corroded and unable to bear children. Most likely a reference to the fact that Trina had a miscarriage when she was with Lil Wayne. Truly a brutal blow, really hitting below the belt. Now that was 10 of the most disrespectful lines in diss tracks by female MCs. What other lines from diss tracks by women in particular do you think belong on this list? Leave a comment in the comment section below, and remember, if you want to help support the channel, click the thanks button when you're leaving your comments, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.